Very good morning, students. Welcome back to Data Structures Revision Class 16. I hope that students, all the revision class, it's to be very useful to you people. Let us see what are the topics will be covered in a revision class 16. The same note for all the revision classes. This information is for the students, not to skip the videos for the betterment of the students, to understand the revision concepts. The first, the previous theory classes of a particular topic has been covered. Those videos will be played and followed by that revision concept on the same topic will be carried out as the revision classes. Now let us see what are the topics we are going to cover in this revision class. The topics to be covered in revision class 16 are nonlinear data structures, trees, terminology, binary trees, root node, leaf node, complete tree, and height. Graphs, unidirected and directed graphs. Neighbors and adjacents. These are the topics which you are going to cover in today's class. Well, let us see in deep.
Morning students, welcome back to our online classes. So we were discussing about the chapter called data structure. So today will be our last session. So in today's session I'll just brief out what we are going to study. Before that, let me brief out what we discussed in the last session. So in the last session we were discussed about the linear data structure called linked list. So in linked list we are seeing what is the definition for linked list, types of linked list, the operations which are performed on the linked list, memory representation, as well as we are seeing how to do the insertion and the deletion operation. When we see the insertion operation, there are three ways to insert an element into the linked list. One is to insert the element at the beginning, next to insert the element at the given position, next to insert the element at the end. So there in that I discussed only one thing, how to insert in the beginning, okay, because you need not to get confused. Just insertion, you just write insert at the beginning. In the revision classes again I will explain, just since it is a new concept I introduced to you all, so I don't want to confuse with three algorithms. I gave only one, I explained only one, how to insert the element in the beginning. At the given position at the end I will discuss in the revision class. Now in the last class again we have seen how to delete the element at the how to delete the given element in the linked list. So there also I discussed about how to delete the element in the beginning. Okay, in today's class I will discuss how to delete the given element, how to delete the element at the given position. So for that you should know how to delete the element at the end, how to delete the element at the beginning, and by implementing these two, only a few lines of algorithm, few lines of code we will add in between, how to delete the element at the given position. Okay, so a few concepts I told that two algorithms I discussed in the revision classes. Okay, after discussing this, I'll just introduce about non-linear data structure. So you are aware of when we spoke about the classification of data structure. In the non-linear data structure, we have seen trees and graphs. We'll see the terminologies of trees and graphs, and then I'll give you the assignment question and wind up today's session, and the data structure chapter ends, okay, by today's class. Again, we'll start with the, again students, since this chapter carries 14 marks, so I'll be discussing this, I'll be doing the revision again. I'll be doing the revision again for data structure. Please, those who are not understood this chapter, please again go through your revision classes. So let me go into today's session. So I've taken an algorithm to delete the element at the given position. I'll give a position. At that particular position, you need to delete the given element. Okay, you need to delete the element. So usually in our algorithms, we have seen only one pointer P1 or P. Here we have taken two pointers. One pointer P1 is to traverse the linked list. Next P2 is to find the location of the node to be deleted. See, I repeat, P1 and P2 are the pointers. One pointer is to traverse the linked list and next pointer is to find the location of the node to be deleted. Okay, so P1 will have always, it is to traverse the linked list. P2 is to have the location of the node to be deleted. Now I am going to start the algorithm. So before starting, let me see, there are two function calls. One is to call the delete at the beginning, one is to call the delete at the end. So we have two function calls. I will tell you what are those things. Okay, this is a separate algorithm, a separate code will be written for delete end and to delete beginning. This code is to delete at the given position. I repeat, this code to delete at the given position. So here I am going to start. Initially I am giving count is equal to 0. P1 I am giving to start, while P1 is not equal to null. That means it is not at the end. Your P1 is not pointing at the end. So if that condition satisfied, I will increment my counter and link of P1, I will give it to P1. So this condition, this while loop will be traversing till we reach to the given position. So imagine this is my start. Usually what is your start contains? The start contains the address of your first node. The start contains the address of the first node. Imagine I am having, these are my nodes. These are my nodes. Null. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is my last node. Last node. Why? Because I have in the link field as null. This is my first node. Why? Because my start is connected to first node. So start always has the beginning address, the first address of the node. The first node's address will be present in the start. So these are the things. Now I want to delete the element. Okay, my given position 0, 1, 2, 3. So I want to delete the element at any given position, either 1 or 2. Or imagine I want to delete the 0, 1, 2. So I want to delete this. Okay, 30. In such case, what I will do, students, just listen here. So if position is equal to 1, I am calling beginning y. When I will be here, my position, suppose my position, if I am starting it from 1, I am starting it from 1, 2, 3, 4. If I am starting it from one position, what I should do? I should call the function call for beginning. Why beginning? Why? Because if I explained you how to delete a node in the beginning, I will just give the link here, I will just delete this element. Instead of pointing to the first node, if I give the link to second node, the first element will be deleted. That is the routine and that is the code which is present in call beginning. What if I want to delete at the end? If position is equal to count, I reach to the end, my count is being increased. Okay, my position and count is same. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is my count. Now what is the position? Imagine I am giving the element to be deleted is 40. What is the position? 4. So when position is equal to count, okay, suppose my position becomes 4, what is the element which is present? So 40, but what node it is? That is last. So what I should do? I should call delete end. I repeat, if position is equal to 1, I delete the first node. If position is equal to count, what is my count? 4. So position is equal to 4, I delete the last node. For example, if both are not present, for example, I am not deleting at the first, I am not deleting at the beginning. At that time, what I should do? I have to now execute the routine to delete the element at the given position. Now this condition is true for P1. Why? Because P1 pointer will be traverse the linked list. Each and every node it will visit and it will be traversing. So only I am putting that in a while loop, and to increment the counter I am using the while loop. Okay, see, P1 will always point to the it is a pointer which is used to traverse the linked list. So far we are not seeing the routine to delete the element at the given position. We have seen how to delete at the beginning, how to delete at the end. Now I will tell you how to delete at the given position. If position is less than count, for example my count is 4, my position where I want to position, my position is 3. 3 is less than 4, see I want to delete the element 3. At what position? My position 4. Now see here, my position 3 is less than 4, yes. Now 3 is less than 4, now start and giving it to P2. I use a for loop. Now again I am changing the link. P2 I am giving to P1. Link of P2 I am giving to P2. So this and this we will not. Why? Because the condition fails. Here it is not beginning, here it is not ending. Now see here, I am taking 20. Okay, for loop, see, from the beginning we are just seeing this is at position 1. So here we have 10, that is not the element to be deleted. We have position 2, that is not the element to be deleted. Here we have position 3. This is exactly where we want to delete the element. So we will free that P2. Okay, we will free that P2. Otherwise, suppose I have given the position as 5. In such cases, it will print the invalid position. It will print invalid position. Till P2, I will give it to P1 and I will delete this at given position 3. I will delete this element. I delete this element for T, and now 20. If I delete this, it will be pointing here. Okay, if I delete this will be pointing here. 20 will be pointing here. So I will delete this. Okay, now I deleted the element at the given position. Now 3 we deleted. Now position size is 1, 2, 3. Okay, we removed the link at the given position. Hence we are freeing the P2. Now this is exactly where we are going to see till where we reach the position. We are using a for loop. First we will be searching for 1. For I is equal to 1 to position. So position is what? Your position? Your position is 3. Here we'll see this one is we will be checking, okay, whether to delete. No, we'll reach here. No, once we reach for position, that is position is equal to 3, that time we'll just interchange the link and we just delete the node. So I repeat, this is the algorithm to delete the element at the given position. Okay, now you see P1 and P2 are nothing but 2 pointers. One pointer is used to traverse. P2 is at the exact location where the element to be deleted. Now this is initially I am using start. Count is equal to 0. I am starting. This y means to increment the count while traversing along the linked list. I am using P1 as my pointer to traverse the link, and I am using as P1 visits each and every node, the counter gets incremented. That I have implemented by using while loop. Next, if position is equal to 1, we will call beginning to delete the routine in the beginning. If position is equal to count, what is my count? If my count is 4, so that means I reach the end of the node. So that time I will call the routine for delete. If, for example, if I give the position, if I give the position as 3, that time what I should do? This routine is I have included a for loop. Okay, here I have included a for loop. For I is equal to 1. First I will check here. Is this the position? No. This is the position? No. Here I had 3. Yes, that is my position. Now I interchange the link. Now P2 will have the exact location where the element to be deleted. So by using this, I will just give the link to the last thing and I delete the given element. Else it will print that invalid position. Okay, this is about the algorithm to delete the element at the given position. Next we will see non-linear data structure. Okay students, now we'll see the last concept, that is non-linear data structure. In the classification so far we were discussing about linear data structure. Next part is we are going to see the non-linear data structure. So non-linear data structures are the data structure in which the data items are interconnected. The data, each and every data item, several data items are interconnected by each other. I repeat, non-linear data structure is again a data structure in each and every data items are interconnected by each other. So one data item is interconnected to another data item, but it is not in a linear fashion. It is like trees and graphs. I tell you what is trees and graphs. It will be like one data element is present here, the next data element is present somewhere. It is not with a contiguous memory location like arrays, stacks and queues. It is a non-linear data structure where each and every several data items are interconnected by a link. Okay, they are interconnected by a link. Okay, that is the definition for non-linear data structure. First, we'll see the pros and cons of a non-linear data structure. So, it uses memory efficiently. The length of the data item need not to be known in prior. That is the advantage. So when we talk about the advantages, the disadvantages, overhead of the link to the next data item. So when I talk about link, here each and every data item is interconnected by link. To maintain the links, there is a overhead in maintaining the link. How the link is being linked to the next data item. So there is a overhead. When it comes to a lengthy program in the linked list, so there is a problem because of the link overhead. That is this only disadvantage we have. So that is about the advantage and disadvantage of non-linear data structure. Now I told in non-linear data structure we spoke about there are two non-linear data structure, trees and graphs. First we'll see trees. Example for non-linear data structure is trees. So in trees, a tree is a data structure consisting of nodes organized in a hierarchy. So a tree is also one of the non-linear data structure. So each and every node is organized in a hierarchy. So I call each and every data item here as a node. Okay, how we call in the linked list, the link field and the data info part as a node. Here also we call this data element this as a node. Okay, this as a node. So the topmost node we call it as a root node or the parent node. Okay, so the root node is the topmost node, the topmost, I repeat, the topmost node. The topmost node in the hierarchy we call it as a root node, and root will not have a parent. Okay, root will not have a parent. The topmost node in the hierarchy we call it as a root node. Next we have the other subtree. Okay, this is called as a subtree. Again we have the other nodes. So here I need to talk about leaf nodes. Leaf nodes, the end node, the terminal nodes, we call it as a leaf nodes. It will not have any child node. It will have zero child node. But whereas the other nodes will have one or more child nodes, we call that as a subtree. Sometimes if it has only two child nodes, we call that as a binary tree. Binary tree is a tree which has exactly two descendants. Two child nodes, we call it as a binary tree. So here we have more than two, we call it as a subtree. We have, this is an ancestor, these are the descendants. These are the descendants. These are called as child nodes. These are called as child nodes. And the last node we call the terminal nodes, we call it as a leaf nodes. The last nodes are called as the leaf nodes. So I repeat, a tree is again a non-linear data structure in which all the data items are organized in a hierarchy. The topmost we call it as a root node, then we have subtree, then we have child nodes as well as leaf node. The terminal one is called leaf node. We will see for 5 marks or 3 marks they will ask you the terminologies in this non-linear data structure. Next we will see the terminology. Okay, see I have written the terminologies. So why? Because this is important for 3 marks, or sometimes they may ask you 5 terms, they may ask you for 5 marks too. So in non-linear data structure, the definitions and terminologies are very important. So only I have written on the board. Just have a look of it. So in terminologies, I told you what is node. So a node is a structure which may contain a value or a condition, or it represents a separate data structure. In a node, it contains a data item. So I told a node is nothing but the data item where we have the information part. So I call a node is a structure which may contain a value or condition, or it represents a separate data. DS, I have written DS, it stands for data structure. Next I spoke about leaf node. So I have just shown you in the previous class how I have written. See, I have written like this. I have nodes. So this is called as root node. Okay, here I have a leaf node. Okay, these are my ancestor nodes and these are my descendant nodes. Okay, so when I talk about the tree structure, so this is nothing, each and every this part is called as a circle thing we have written. So this is nothing but a node here. So in trees we represent the nodes like this. So when I talk about a node is a structure which may contain a value or condition, or it represents a separate data structure. So leaf node is nothing but your terminal node. Okay, your terminal node, we call it as a leaf node. The other definition is the leaf nodes that do not have any children are called as leaf nodes. Here for leaf nodes we don't have any child node. Zero child node, the least node which doesn't have any children, zero children, we call that as a leaf node. I repeat, the nodes that do not have any children we call it as a leaf node. Next, height. What is the height of a tree? ask you height. The height of a node is the length of the longest downward path to a leaf node. For example, if I take it from here, from the leaf node to the root node, so this is nothing but the length of the longest path. Okay, imagine I have one more leaf node here, so my height will start from the leaf node to the root node. So the longest path from the leaf node to the root node, I call it as the height of a node. Okay, next, what is the depth? The depth of a node is the length of the path to its root. Okay, the depth of a node is the length of the path to its node. For example, I can take depth from here, depth from there, it is up to your wish. So from which node you take, the depth of the node is the length of the path to its node. For example, if I take from this node, again the depth of this node is nothing but the length of the path to its root node. Next, how will you define root node? Root node is nothing but the topmost node, we call it as a root node, and root node will not have a parent. Okay, I repeat, the root node will have a parent. For example, if I take this as a node, it will have parent as the root node, and it is having two child nodes. Okay, these nodes are called as child nodes or leaf nodes. So if I take the root node is a topmost node which will not have a parent. So the topmost node in a tree is called as a root node. And what is meant by subtree? For example, this is my subtree. From here, level 1, level 2, level 3. From level 2, if I take, this is my subtree. A subtree of a tree T is a tree consisting of a node in T and all of the descendants in T. So I repeat, it is a subtree. For example, I have a tree called T. So subtree will be a part of it. For example, level 2, I call it as a subtree which is a part of a tree. So these are the definitions, these are the terminologies which is related to trees. So I repeat, so you just make a note of it. What is node? Node means it is a structure which may contain a value or a condition, or it forms a separate data structure. Leaf node is a node that do not have any other child node. Height is nothing but the node is a, see the definition for height. So if your height of a node is the length of the longest downward path to a leaf from a node. Okay, next we had depth. The depth of the node is the length of the path to its root node. Next, root node is nothing but the topmost node in a tree is called as a root node. Subtree, a tree of a subtree of a tree, that is T, capital T, is a tree consisting of a node in T and all of its descendants in a T. So here, what are the descendant nodes? For example, these are your ancestor nodes. If I give A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So C, F, G, these are called as descendants. A is called as the ancestor. So that is your root node. So this is about the definitions, the terminologies of a tree. Next we'll discuss about graphs. Okay. Next we'll see, before seeing graphs, I will tell you the definition for binary tree. So we know the definition for tree. Now what is binary tree? A binary tree is a tree in which each node has at least two descendants. It should have at least two descendants. Please, you usually write two or more. Please, you have the habit of writing the answer. Please make a note of it. It should tell at least two descendants. Binary, we know binary means two. A binary tree is a tree in which each node has at least two descendants. We call it as a binary tree. In a binary tree, we have a root node and we have a left subtree and the right subtree. So binary tree is a tree which has at least two descendants, which has minimum of at least two descendants. We call that as a binary tree. Binary tree definitions, they may ask for 1 mark. So what is binary tree? A binary tree is a tree in which each node has at least two descendants. So here we have a root node and it has a right subtree and the left subtree. We have a root node and we have a root node and we have a right subtree and the left subtree. After seeing the binary tree, next we'll see the next type of non-linear data structure. We have graphs. I'll tell you the definition for graphs. So we'll finish with the binary tree. Now we'll see graph. So graph contains, it has a set of vertices and edges. Graph is again a non-linear data structure which has a set of vertices and the edges. Vertices and the edges. So what are called as vertices? For example, if I take a graph like this. Okay. So here the node we call it as the vertex. Okay, we have more than one singular, it is vertex, vertices it's a plural. So we have more than one vertex we call it as vertices. So graph is a non-linear data structures which has the vertices and the edges which connect the vertices. Edges are nothing but this line or the arc which connect the vertices. So these are called as node. The node we call it as vertices in the graph. This is nothing but a vertex. So we have more than one vertex, we call it as vertices. When you write the graph definition, a graph is again a non-linear data structures which contain the set of vertices and the edges which connects the vertices, we call it as a graph. So this is a graph. So in graph again we have two types of graph. One is directed graph and undirected graph. Okay, so if I don't give the direction, it is not directed. If I give the direction, for example, if I tell you the direction like this, okay, it is a directed graph. In the directed graph, you see as in the arc, I have shown you two sides, both the ends of the arc are used the arrow mark. This is bidirectional. Okay, this is bidirectional. Okay, if I have a single direction it is showing, this is unidirectional. So this is about a graph. A graph, when they ask you the definition for graph, a graph is a non-linear data structures which contains a set of vertices and edges. The nodes are nothing but your vertices and your arc which connects the vertices we call the link between the two vertices. This line or this arc is called as the edges. So we have two types of graph. One is directed and undirected. So if you don't specify the directions, that is undirected. If you specify the direction, that is directed graph. In directed graph we have two types. One is unidirectional and bidirectional. So this is about the non-linear data structure. This ends the non-linear data structure. Okay students, now we have come to the last part of the session. Now we have assignment. I have given you the assignment question. So I have given 10 questions. Each question carries 5 marks. So please make a note of it and just take a note of these questions. So first question is write an algorithm to insert an element into an array. Next, write an algorithm to delete. One is to insert in an array. Next one is to delete. Third one is write an algorithm. Searching only I have given you the binary search. Next is insertion sort. Write an algorithm for insertion sort. Next I have given an algorithm in the stack. I have given the operation in the stack, that is for push and pop. You need to write the algorithm. Okay. So next I have written here 6 to 10. So question number 6, write an algorithm to insert a data item at the rear end. That means for Q, I have given you the insertion at the rear end, and again in the Q, write an algorithm to delete a data element from the front end. This is for DQ, NQ and DQ. Next, write an algorithm to insert a data element at the beginning of the linked list. Next, this is for linked list. Okay, write an algorithm to delete a data element at the beginning of the linked list. One is for inserting into the linked list. Next is for deleting into the linked list. Next is apply binary search for the following. The last question is I have given you certain data items. So in that I have given you the search item also, that is 35. So you need to do the binary search you need to apply your binary search algorithm for this. So this is about the end of data structure. So for the next class sessions, we'll again do the revision, but in a different videos I'll do the revision of the same chapter. So the concepts which are not clear, you just again go through the revision classes. Okay, thank you. Good morning students, welcome back to our online classes. So in today's class we'll do the revision. So this will be a last session of the revision class of the data structure. So last class we discussed about the algorithm. So we discussed algorithm for insertion and algorithm for deletion. In algorithm for insertion we have seen 3 algorithms. Similarly in algorithm for deletion we have to see 3 algorithms, but we have seen 2 algorithms. One algorithm is like I have done today's session, that I have done and in regular classes you can see that video. That is algorithm to delete the element at the given position. Last class we have seen for inserting and for inserting at the beginning, inserting at the end. In today's session we will see how to insert at the given position. That already I have done in the regular class, you can see videos for that. Now in today's session I will discuss about the nonlinear data structure. So what I mean by nonlinear data structure? Nonlinear data structure is a data structure. It connects to several other items. Okay, in which we will not find a contiguous memory location. It connects one data item to the several other data items. So the data items are connected to several other data items. Okay. So in nonlinear data structures, we have to discuss the pros and cons. Okay. Later we'll see the terminology. So what is the pros and cons in the sense? It uses memory efficiently. Why? Because we are not facing the contiguous memory locations. We are not finding contiguous memory locations. So haphazardly wherever the memory is free. Because of using this nonlinear data structure, we can connect this data item to the other data item which is present in the memory. So memory utilization is very efficiently taking place in case of nonlinear data structure. In case of, and then one more advantage is the length of the data item is not necessarily known in prior for allocation. Okay. Next one is these are the 2 main advantages. Those are called as pros. Cons mean these are disadvantages. One disadvantage is overhead in the link. How to handle the link? Okay, why? Because non-linear data structure works on the criteria that we can link with one data item with the several other data items. But whereas this linking becomes a tedious task or it is overhead for the CPU. So we call that as the disadvantages. Okay. Later I will explain about tree. So in the regular class I have explained with the diagram what you mean by tree, definitions and all. So tree is also a data structure which contains nodes, and these nodes are organized in a hierarchy. These nodes are organized in a hierarchy. I have discussed about how it has been organized. So we have the topmost node which is called as root node, and we have rest node as rest other nodes are called as child nodes. Okay, root node and child node, and root node will not have a parent node. Okay, what is tree? Tree contains a set of nodes which is present in some hierarchy. The topmost node we call it as a root node. Root node is also called as a parent node. I repeat, root node is also called as a parent node, and rest all the siblings we call it as the child nodes. Okay, child nodes. Okay, under this we have many terminologies to be known. What is the we have to discuss what is the definition for root node, leaf node, height of a tree, depth of a tree. All this with the definitions I have written on the board and explained in the regular classes. Okay, next we will see binary trees. Okay, what do you mean by binary tree? Binary tree, the definitions when you are writing, you please be very specific in writing. This will ask for 1 mark. Okay, so binary tree is a tree in which each node has at most 2 descendants. At most 2 or more, you should not write at most, that is the maximum. At most we can have 2 descendants, then only the 2 binary means 2. At most it can have 2 descendants, hence it is called as a binary tree. So for what I have written, this is an example for binary tree. Okay, next we have after discussing the definitions, we need to discuss about graph. So what do you mean by graph? When the graph is nothing but a set of vertices. A graph is a set of vertices and the edges. Okay, graph is a set of vertices and the edges. And in graph we have 2 types of graph. One is directed graph and next one is undirected graph. Okay, in this we have seen about neighbors and adjacency in your regular classes. So this ends the data structures chapter. So I repeat what I did in this is only a revision session. 5 minutes of blow up like I need to give for the end of the session. So what we have to discuss is, what we have discussed in today's session is, we need to know the non-linear data structure definition. Later we have seen about the pros and cons. Then we have the terminologies. Terminologies under what? Under tree. trees. Okay, under trees, what and all terminologies we have to discuss later. Graphs is very simple. We need to tell what is a graph and what are the types of graphs. Okay, so this hence the data structure. So I have included the assignment questions. So main question, 5-mark question, what sort of question for the exam point of view you can expect is they may ask you the terminologies, definitions for nonlinear data structure, pros and cons, and at most they can ask the terminologies for 3 marks or 5 marks. Okay, so this ends the data structures chapter. In the next class onwards, we'll start a new chapter. Probably it will be inheritance. So I wind up this session. Any questions, any queries, any doubt, even after doing the revision session, if you are having any queries, please when you are submitting your assignments, you just put that in your assignment question and get it to me. Thank you.
Before seeing the assignment questions, we'll see that what are the topics we have covered in today's class. The first topic is nonlinear data structures, pros and cons, trees, terminologies, binary tree, root node, leaf node, and complete node, graphs, undirected and direct graphs, and also we have seen what is neighbors and adjacents. These are the topics which you have covered in today's class. In today's class, we have assignment questions based on 5 marks. Let us see what are the questions. The first question is, what is nonlinear data structures? Explain its pros and cons. The second question, it's terminologies. Under terminologies, we have different definitions. A, binary tree, B, root node, C, leaf node, D, complete tree, E, height, F, graphs. These are the different terminologies comes under the second question. Hope so. This will be the last revision class based on data structures. From next session, we are going to start a new chapter called as inheritances, which comes under the programming language C++. We have already covered the constructors and destructors. With a continuation of the same unit, we are going to start a new chapter called as inheritances. Okay students, we'll see you in programming part. Thank you.